What's up, everybody? Another wonderful Monday night of Chewing the Barbecue Fat. Man, I am super excited about this week. Last week, we got to talk with Emily and Rick from KCBS and all the wonderful things that's going on with KCBS. They're doing some amazing things. I hope you were able to watch that. If you weren't, go back and watch it from last week. Great show, and always enjoy having them on. As they mentioned, they're going to bring it in, I think, hopefully next week, come back on and talk about their invitational that they're having. But if anybody's in barbecue, you know anything about barbecue, if you check your emails or do anything, you know what was released this week or last week, a couple days ago. I got so excited. I called a bunch of my friends, said, hey, guess what? I got the email. It's happening. The American Royal is coming back this year. So I was fortunate enough to be able to get in touch with Emily Park with the American Royal and ask if she would like to come on and talk about this wonderful contest that we all love so much. So I'm going to bring her in just a second, but if you will like the page, share the page, get it out there to as many people and bring questions. She's already said that she will talk about anything and everything American Royal. So if you're interested, go ahead and get your questions together. What's up, Mike? Thanks for watching the show. Appreciate everything you do, buddy. All right, Emily. Welcome to Chewing the Barbecue Fat, Emily.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming on. Will you go ahead and introduce yourself and what you do for the American Royal?
Perfect. My name is Emily Park, and I am the manager of the World Series of Barbecue. So I bring the barbecuers together. Really is my main goal of the whole year. Get the people who know what they're doing and the judges together and make the show happen.
Make it happen. So how long have you been making it happen there at the American Royal?
So this year would have been my 6th barbecue, but we're going to call it 5.5 because we did plan last year. We just didn't execute it. So ever since we moved to the Speedway, I've been on the team. So if you think kind of longevity of the barbecue and its moves, I am the Kansas Speedway manager.
That's awesome. That is awesome. That's so cool. I mean, I was fortunate enough to be able to go in 2019 and had an absolute amazing time. If anybody watched the show afterwards, you've heard me say, if you are into competition barbecue, this is the contest that you have to cook. If competition barbecue is a hobby of yours or whatever, there is nothing like this competition. How many teams do you normally have at your contests?
You know, I would say we always kind of try to target about 500. And that's for our open contest. So the cool thing is we have 2 contests going on that weekend. There's the Invitational, which is happening on Saturday, and then Sunday is the open. So the open contest, everybody can join. If you own a smoker, a grill, I don't know, want to do it on the hood of your car, you can come down and you can cook. And then the Invitational is for any teams who have won a grand championship. So that usually has about 180 teams. And then Sunday is the big dog with about 500. I'm feeling like we're going to hit 500 this year, maybe more. People are chomping at the bit to come on down and cook.
Now, will y'all cut it off or will you open it up to as many?
We're not cutting it off. We got space. You've been down to the Speedway. That place is huge.
It is huge.
I think our max teams have been 618. One year we had 618. So, I mean, if we can get 619, this is the year. I would be thrilled. So, everybody, come on down.
That's right. So just to explain that, I know a lot of people think you have to win a grand to make it, but you only have to win a grand to get into the invitational side of things, not the open.
Yes. So that's the kind of interesting thing about our contest. So the Invitational is what happens on Saturday. If you want to come down and just cook and you've never won a contest in your life, if you've never cooked a contest in your life for all, we care, come on down and you load in throughout the week. You'll have a little fun on Friday and Saturday, and then you cook Sunday. But any team can join. I will say, like, my husband and his buddies did it the first year. They didn't win. They had a great time, but they did it. So anybody can be part of it.
I mean, it is so fun. I mean, it is getting there, all the anticipation of getting there and just the anxiety of getting there and getting to do the double and everything else is so neat. And I'm a cook, and most people on here are cooking. We have Joe LaPlante says he would love to judge it. I've never thought about the judges side of things. Is that as exciting for the judges as it is for the cook teams?
I think they might argue it's more exciting. So judging every year, we have anywhere from 600 to 700 judges on Sunday alone. And these judges, there's so many KCBS certified judges. I think we're at about 90% are KCBS certified judges. We have a ton of master judges who have judged 100 contests or more. The judging is awesome. The judging is so cool because you're getting the best of the best. Not only are we the biggest, but I think I'm going to say it. I think we're the best. So you're getting to eat the best barbecue for 5 hours. How can you say no to that?
I know.
And it's from all over the world. You can travel. I could come to see you and have the best barbecue in your city, but then I'm missing out on another city. This is everybody in one place, and you're just trying so much. Now it's exhausting, but fantastic.
There's nothing like that drive, leaving out Sunday night and knowing. For me, I've got something like that to get home, but it's so worth it. It's so much fun. But so what all do you have there? Because I remember last year or 2 years ago, you have the open, you have the invitational. Our kids did the kids queue, but there was a lot of other things going on also other than just the barbecue contest.
Totally. So, this year might look a little different, but we open it up for the public. So and when I say public, that's not just Kansas City, that's anyone. Come on down, come enjoy the sights and the smells of the world's largest barbecue contest. So because our teams are cooking and many of them would not like to give up their, prized possession is what I will say to someone walking down to grab their food. We offer barbecue from our local restaurants, local partners. We have concerts on a main stage that happen on Friday and Saturday night. We do a salute to military on our Saturday. And then we've done a lot of family fun stuff to do. And then I will say the biggest thing is our Friday night is kind of a big old party. No one's got to turn in barbecue for a couple hours on Saturday. So I think people really, it's a family reunion. That's the way I'll say it. You come down and you are having a family reunion with 40,000 of your closest friends.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I want it this year. We're going to try and get there earlier on Wednesday or whatever the day load-in is, just Wednesday. So we get in, get loaded and get settled and go have fun for a couple of days and just enjoy ourselves. So speaking of that, I will back up. Richard Crow asked a wonderful question that I should have asked earlier. What are the dates of the Royal this year?
Okay, official dates of the Royal. And now you're going to put me on the spot because I don't want to say the load-in date wrong. I'm double checking so I don't say the wrong loaded date. Okay, so teams can start loading in on the 15th. That's the Wednesday. And then September 15th, that's Wednesday. Yep. The big party night is Friday the 17th. Invitational cook is on the 18th. Open cook is on the 19th. And then you head home after you take home your grand championship.
That's right.
Yep.
And you're out of there by 6 o'clock, something like that.
We are all out of there by 10:30. So if you've been there, hosting a party for 40 to 50,000 people and then cleaning it up in 5 hours, it's fun.
It's crazy. It is crazy. But that's one thing that's different about it is like when you're done cooking on Sunday, you're loading up. You're getting loaded up.
You are loading up.
And you're getting ready for those awards. There's some of the best awards that you'll ever go to.
The awards, I have a couple favorite things. I probably have 100 favorite things of the barbecue. That's tough to say, but the awards are fantastic. It is, everyone's so excited for everybody else. That's what's so cool. Let's say you bombed in chicken. I'm just saying this, but your buddy a couple doors down that you just met turned in a great chicken. Guess who's your new best friend? And guess who you're going to have a space with for the rest of your life? It's just the coolest thing. It takes a while because there's a lot of people going to walk to the stage, but man, it's remarkable to be part of.
And I will say, and we'll get into this in a little bit, my favorite part of all the awards is on Saturday night when they do the kids queue and bring up kids that competed. I mean, you got 75 kids or something along those lines competing, and it is so cool to do that. My kid went and he's like, "Hey, Dad, at least people know I showed up because I got a ribbon. You don't have anything." I was like, "Thanks, bud. I appreciate that." But it's really cool because I mean, it is so neat for these kids. So, can you tell a little bit about the kids queue?
Yes, we love the kids queue. We also have the world's largest kids queue. We got to be the world's largest everything, right?
Right.
So our kids queue competition, it's traditionally 2 categories. Ages 6 to 10 cook hamburger, and we kind of let them cook it. Have a little fun with it. It's not just a patty, but you can have fun with it. And then 11 to 15 is steak. Now, the fun thing this year, I think it's fun. We noticed that those poor kids, when we canceled last year, might have aged out. If it was your 15th year, so we extended it to 16. So we want to make sure that everyone can be part of it. If it was your final year, it's missing if you've been doing it for 8 years, you don't want to miss out. So, yeah. And then they've got great partners with Kids Queue too. We're partnered by Weber. And I mean, there is a stream of people who want to be part of Kids Queue. It's a fantastic thing to come and see. And you don't have to be in barbecue. If you have a kid that is just interested or cooks at home, we'll pair them with a team. We'll take care of the back end work and have them come down and cook. So that's super fun too. Yeah,
I mean, that's one thing that I remember. Y'all will do anything and everything. You go to the little tent or the little room that everybody's in, and everybody's there helpful. So let me go through some of the questions real quick. Yes, John, any team can enter. You can enter the open division. You have to qualify for the invitational. The backyard, you want to talk a little bit about your backyard?
Yeah, contest? I'm gonna tie into that first one first though.
Okay.
If you want to join, there's 2 regulations to be in the open. Pay for your spot. That's simple. Turn in at least 1 protein. You don't even have to turn them all in. That's up to you. Turn in 1. That's all we ask so that you are actually in the contest. So that's great. But the backyard contest. So we just did a backyard contest in March. We don't do it at the American Royal in the fall yet. I think we got to build it up a little bit, but we had one in March. We had about 30 teams. It was a fantastic turnout for our first one. Yeah, and I think we're going to do it again next year in March. So we'll have more information on that, I would say probably towards the end of this calendar year.
Okay, great. Awesome. And Tom Cleveland asked open sides contest because I know there's a bunch of contests other than just the normal 4 meats, right?
Yeah, let's make it confusing. Yes, so we've got open sides. So open sides is potatoes, vegetable, putting me on the spot, beans, and dessert. If you want to come judge something fun, you come judge dessert. That is awesome. But open sides, open to anyone. Any team can be part of it. It doesn't count towards your grand championship, which means it also doesn't hurt you. So it's a really fun thing to do. Also kind of in your spare time. It's on Saturday. So it doesn't compete with your meat turn-in because we know that you got to have that time perfectly. So if you feel like turning in some cheesy corn on Saturday, do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So the other question that I had, where is it? It's at Kansas City Motors.
Kansas Speedway.
Kansas City Speedway. Yep. And it's in September. All right. So that's mainly all that. What? From going back to Kids Queue, y'all have the Weber kettles set up, correct?
Yes.
Or do you bring your own?
We have them. We equip the kids with everything that they need, and we'll tell them a couple things they can bring. If you have your own kitchen utensils you want to bring them. but we always have backup stuff too. We just know that the weekend can get crazy. So we'll take care of the charcoal. We take care of the Webbers. We take care of the tables and chairs. And then any other safety things that the kids, might need, especially this year. Gloves, cleaning supplies, an EMT in the fire department right there. We keep them close.
It's so cool. It's a great environment. All right. So American Royal, the world's largest barbecue contest, the greatest contest you'll ever go cook at. If you haven't signed up, if you're never going, you need to sign up and go this year. This is going to be a special year. I can already tell. It is a KCBS sanctioned contest, correct?
That is correct.
Would you like to talk a little bit about, because I think a lot of people, like when we had Emily on that while with KCBS, it was like, so are y'all having the Royal? I think there's a lot of people think that the Royal KCBS, yeah, but you're not, right? But go ahead.
Not.
But explain a little bit about what y'all are doing.
I would like to say that we are very close cousins. So the American Royal actually started in 1980 and KCBS started in 85. But if you look at kind of the founders of both of it, it's all the same folks who kind of did this together. So after a couple years of cooking, some folks who are cooking every year realized that there wasn't really a pure regulation on cooking, and they started KCBS. So we've grown together for 40 years. So yes, we are a separate entity, but we're really, really close partners, and we know that we're each other's success stories. So we, really work with them close. This past calendar year, even up to now, has been the closest I think we've all ever worked together. Myself and Emily and countless number of teammates and reps had a weekly call for basically 7 months to make sure that we could do it safely. We did have it all figured out last year, not for just reasons of judging. There were so many reasons we had to cancel, but we are already in the direction to do it safely this year. So high points on that. Our judging used to be in a garage on the Kansas Speedway infield. And if you know anything about Speedway infields, there's the 4 or 5 garages that are used by the track for the races. Well, we got too big for our britches, and that's a good thing. And then also just the distancing that we learned this year, we need to expand. So our judging footprint is probably going to expand by 3 to 4 times. We have added regulations that all judges abide by, that they're masked 100% of the time unless they're actively eating or drinking. We have sanitizer all over the place. I mean, so much that you can't miss it. All of the staff are gloved and masked, and all of the precautions we need to take. And honestly, we've probably gone a little overboard, I would say. Each judge is going to show up and have a packet ready to go that's been sealed, that has been checked. So no putting your hands in anything. Now, come September, they may change a little, but we're prepared to go overboard to make sure everyone feels very, very safe on the inside and the outside of judging. We want teams to know that we are regulating everything in judging from a safety perspective as well as the contest. So another thing we did was we realized that the safety procedures are going to take a little bit more time, and we don't want to mess up the contest. So we added 15 minutes per turn in so that we are actually judging identical to how we always have. We don't want to mess up anything is kind of what we're looking at. So if you've judged there or if you've cooked there before, that's going to be your biggest change, is you have an extra 15 minutes per turn in on Sunday. Not 30 minutes, but 45. So you got to make sure you know when to.
What are the turn-in times going to be?
So they're actually posted right now. We kept chicken is always at noon. So we kept that at noon. You'll start chicken at noon. We're going to do turkey before chicken. That'll be at 11:15. And then your next turn-in will be 11:45 or 12:45. You're making me do math on the fly.
I got you. So instead of we're just bumping up the turn-in times on Sunday only.
On Sunday only, because there's 500 teams, and because the footprint's going to be bigger, the safety precautions are bigger. if you've got to walk 4 times as much as a table captain, we got to make sure that meat is there. So, right. So we just want to make sure everything is running super smooth. We're lucky that we have a contest on Saturday too. So we are going to have everything prepped and ready before even Sunday turns around. So it's going to be great. I could send everyone the list of things if they want to see it. But even right now,
it's just interesting. That's why I wanted to have you come on the show so we could talk about it, and because that is something that's going to be a little different, right? So I mean, you're turning. So we're going 12, 12:45, 1:30,
1:30, yeah.
15. Okay, so that's going to be a little different. That's cool. I mean,
that's a big deal, though, if you know exactly when to put on your meat. And so we know that. So that is like alert the troops is what I'm trying to do. Let them know. Yeah. And that's only on Sunday. So if you've got, if you're an invitational team and an open team, you got different schedules.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. So everybody, I hope you heard that. Go back and listen to that. Get the word out, because that's going to be. I think it's going to be good. It's going to be different. It's going to be another challenge, right? But I think that's cool. And Aaron Leslie, he's saying that's great. I think that's not going to be a bad thing. Just you got to know, and I think that's what's going to be cool.
And the thing is too, if you've been out to the Royal, and I hope everyone who's listening who hasn't been can come this year, you might have a space that's kind of far from judging. We take up quite some property, the whole infield of a speedway. So you might need that extra time to walk or run. Hopefully not run, but
yeah. So did you say you're moving the judges' tent? It's no longer in that garage, or is it the same garage it was last 2 years?
We don't know yet. That's going to be our biggest, actually, next hurdle is, well, I'll kind of tell you where we stand is. Number one, get the teams registered. I want teams there. I want to see who's coming back. We really pride ourselves on allowing teams to have their same spot, because they're creating neighborhoods they've had for 40 years. So I don't want to mess up somebody's neighborhood. Once we figure out who's coming back, then we'll kind of know where maybe there's a gap or a hole in our whole layout. And we might have to adjust judging to make it work. But where it was, last year in between a lot of teams, I know the biggest thing we'll do is we try to centrally locate it. That is just very important to us. We don't want anyone to have an advantage over somebody else because somebody has a 15-minute walk versus 1 minute. So as close to the center as we can do, we will. And it's just going to look a little funny. I mean, but hey, that's okay. That's what this whole year was. We'll make it safe. We'll make sure the teams can get there in an adequate amount of time.
Right.
And it'll be great.
Yeah. I mean, I loved my spot last year. I mean, it was my wife.
You have a good spot.
She broke her foot last year or 2 years ago, and she was on a little scooter scooting around everywhere. So, but I just remember that was our first time going. I just got an RV, and everything was new. And man, it was so overwhelming. You couldn't get it all in. I'm looking forward to going back the second time as not a newbie, but as so I can enjoy it, because that first time you're there, it is overwhelming. And I'm ssure you've heard that.
Oh, I actually agree with you. I mean, I'm planning it, and I can tell you it's overwhelming at the beginning. What's funny too is, there's 500 teams. The smallest team size is a 20 by 20. You can get lost. You get turned around, let's say you get turned around, maybe you've had a couple beers, you very much get lost. And then you get out of sorts, and then you got to make new friends. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that's right. So speaking of having a couple beers, I know there's been a dark side and a normal side, and a lot of corporations will come and have parties, hosting parties there. Is there anything? Is that still looking like it's going to happen?
We feel really confident that teams, corporate teams, kind of anyone can host their guests as they wish. I think our biggest thing is make sure you get a space size for your guest count and really be thoughtful on it this year. I think in the past, we've probably smashed a lot of folks into a small space. This is not the year to do that. We give recommendations on what we think is appropriate, but give yourself more room. Just that would be my biggest thing. If you're hosting people in your space, don't forget about your smoker. Don't forget about the tables and the chairs and all the other stuff. And you just want people to have space so they don't feel crammed. But really, I think we're going to be great. I think everyone can host as much as they want. And if anyone is kind of planning on hosting and they have questions, call me anytime. I would be happy to say, here's what I think you should do. Here's how big of a space you should do. Here's where I think you should be. You mentioned dark side and competition side. So this is a American Royal classic comment that I have to explain. The barbecue used to be hosted at our facility, which is in the West Bottoms of Kansas City. There, half of the contest was underneath the viaduct. There was no light. They called it the dark side. The dark side is where the parties happened much later because there was no light. So people just started calling it the dark side and the competition side. We didn't make that up. We were told this. So when we moved to Arrowhead and then to the Kansas Speedway, our teams were saying, I've been on the dark side. We're like, what is the dark side? And it's like, oh, you've been under the viaduct. Okay.
Gotcha.
So we just call it that to get them in their same neighborhood. So if you kind of look at the map, though, you can quickly see your teams who are dedicated to a fantastic party and your teams who are dedicated to a turn-in. Now, there are unicorns who do both, and I think there's a lot of them. But we do kind of try to separate those teams who are partying to the wee hours on Saturday morning and the teams who are turning in Saturday morning. Give them a little buffer so they can sleep well, check their meat all night the best they can.
And I think it's great. We're right across from Shigan and Brennan, and he's got his bar set up, and he's got, I mean, it's so cool. Those guys,
You've got breakfast. You've got a row of unicorns. That's what I'm going to call them. I know where you're located. But this is kind of the whole thing. Everybody's there to have a good time. And then come Sunday, don't mess with them. You got it. We are turning in this serious business until the last turn in. And then everybody can have a drink together.
And then it starts off all over again. I think that's one thing that's amazing about barbecue people is you watch the party to all of a sudden turn it on to turn in great, amazing food. And it's just quite impressive.
It is.
But I'm sure you've seen all kinds. You've met everybody in the barbecue community. But it's a great contest.
The barbecue community is the coolest thing. I would say for anyone who's like kind of dipping their toe in listening right now, man, jump in head first. I would say it's a family. Before my time at the American Royal, I was not privy to barbecue. I'm an event planner, and boy, am I the luckiest person in the world with this job. I just get to meet the nicest, coolest people who are just so thrilled to be together, even if they're the biggest competitors in the world. It's just so cool. So I would give that to anyone listening, even if it's not our event. Do an event at home, go do a contest, have fun with it. It's super fun. And at the end of it, the worst thing that happens, you cooked food all week and you get to hang out, right?
And I'll tell you what, if you don't start at the American Royal, and you start somewhere else, at say your local contest, and you love it, you will be amazed at what the American Royal offers. As a cook, I'm not a judge, but as a judge, I'm sure they have their stories of telling you how amazing things there are. Now, I noticed in the past y'all all judges classes maybe Wednesday or Thursday. Do y'all do a judges class still?
We do. We're hosting one next week. Actually, if you're in Kansas City and want to come, do that. But we'll do them the week of the barbecue on that Thursday. So if you're in town and you want to do a judging class on Thursday, do it. Even if you're not a judge, and let's say you're from a different sanctioning body, you've been doing IBCA, and you're a little like, I think I want to try KCBS judging, come take a judging class. Because what happens is you just make sure you might have to tweak the way you're cooking to do better with the way we're judging. I tell that to teams all the time. You may never judge, but if you're kind of wondering what you're doing, come to a judging class. You get to see what you're going to be judged on. But yeah, we'll have it on Thursday. during the day. So if you come in and you load in early, or if you just want to judge the barbecue and you can come take the class on Thursday, judge throughout the weekend, we have all those opportunities. So from a judging perspective, we're going to have everything posted to our website this Thursday. So head on Thursday and you can come apply to judge and we'll get you all set up.
Now, what are some other things for people like me coming from the Southeast? I'm coming from near Atlanta, Georgia. What all is there to do in Kansas City? Say you get there on Wednesday and you get loaded in. What all can we do to experience all the American Royal, all Kansas City has to offer?
So I'm a Kansas City native, so I'm a little biased on this town. I love this town. You load in. If you want to stay out by the Speedway, you can. The Hollywood Casino is bumps up to the back of the Speedway. You could actually walk there, but we'll also have some tram service that'll take you over there. So let's say you need to go gamble some money beforehand or just go hang out at the casino and eat. That is right behind you. Also in this same general area, there's a huge outlet mall, a lot of local restaurants, and that's all in this kind of 20-minute away from downtown bubble. Then if you want to get out of that, and I say 20 minutes, that's 20 minutes max. Come downtown. You got to try some Kansas City barbecue while you're here. I mean, if you haven't had Arthur Bryant's or Gates or LC's, and I have just offended 200 restaurants by only mentioning 3, come do it. It's fun. They're legendary Kansas City locations. You know, I have to say, and in Texas is going to compete with me, but we have fantastic steak. We're in the middle of America. We've got great steakhouses. It's a lot of fun. 2 areas I would go to, the Plaza in Kansas City. It is one of the most historical outdoor shopping and entertainment centers in the United States. It's a really, really cool spot to go. There's just a lot happening right now. Breweries are popping up every week. I live next door to a couple that I can't miss. So you'll have a good time. I can promise you that. Yeah. There's a lot to do. And then I do have to mention something I forgot to talk about.
Good.
During the weekend, we host the Barbecue Hall of Fame.
That's right.
Yes. And this year's going to be fun. So last year we did not get to honor the 2020 candidates in person. So this year you're going to have the 2020, inductees in person. So this year we're going to have the 2020 inductees and the 2021 inductees. So we will have 6 new inductees.
Oh man.
4 legacy inductees. So these are inductees who have passed because we realize we're not honoring the history of barbecue. We need to honor it more. So there's so many legendary names and groups that have made barbecue what it is that deserve this honor. So if you are down there on Saturday at the barbecue, we do a full induction ceremony on the stage. I mean, I don't want to put this group into a small silo, but if you've ever turned on TV onto anything barbecue, these guys are there. It's incredible. Our class from 2020 is fantastic. We'll be announcing our 2021 at the end of this month. And you might just walk past Myron Mixon and say hello, or Aaron Franklin, or really any legendary name that you are just shocked that are there. And then even more fun, they're cooking. So that's what's crazy is then they go from being this, unbelievable name in barbecue. And then you look two doors down and they're part of the contest too. They're doing the same thing as the rest of the teams. So it's super cool.
My kids still talk about Tuffy Stone was sitting right behind us in the awards. He was sitting right behind us and he's like, Dad, he's famous. He's famous. I'm like, I know, and Myron is there and all these guys that are there. And you see all this stuff and you're just like, man, it's surreal. When, like I've said all along, if barbecue is your hobby or your dream, your passions or whatever, you've got to go to the Royal because there is nothing like it that you'll ever be a part of. And you do an amazing job with this.
Thank you.
So I got some Texas teams chiming in now.
Come on, Texas.
About the steak that you're talking about there in Kansas City.
Okay, Texas has fantastic steak. I'm going to say it.
Well,
I am not a judgmental person on anyone cooking. I think I've learned from my career that, man, everybody knows how to do their stuff and they can do it well because I get to bring them all together. So I'm just saying, if you're here, we have it too.
That's right. It's amazing to me. I remember I was going to say earlier, if you have kids, there's a great Gray Wolf Lodge right outside the door. You can go outside the Speedway and there take a right or a left off that main road, and there is every restaurant you want, every store you need. I mean, like everything is in walking distance almost to what you
3 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
It's great.
I mean, it's an awesome. Everybody's talking about Texas no steaks.
All right, guys, back to barbecue. Back to barbecue.
That's right. Kansas. So you're saying Kansas City does barbecue better, is what you're saying? I'm just kidding.
I told you I'm a Kansas City native. So, but like I said before, we bring the best of the world together.
There you go. Great response. And I like that. So Freddie Bryant just mentioned that the best sauce.
Hey, Freddie Reyes. I know Freddie.
Yeah, he said he's going to be there and he's going to be there again.
Best sauce on the planet. Freddie turns in Creeper and Betty's, right, Freddie? I think I'm right.
Yeah. But he's talking about so y'all, what else do y'all do throughout the year?
Oh man,
you're doing the sauce, you're doing the rubs, you're doing all kinds of different things throughout the year, correct?
We like to get involved in everything barbecue we can. So this week, actually, it's barbecue month. Happy barbecue month. So
that's right.
There's that. So this week, let's see, yesterday, oh my goodness, we had a rub contest. So we had about 230 entries. We did it mild and hot, just because there could be so much. So we just do the two. We do it all on pork loin. We'll have the winners announced on Friday. And then tomorrow night, we do our sauce contest. So it's barbecue sauce. We take entries from literally all over the world. I think we're somewhere in the 400s of number of bottles that we were looking through today. Mild tomato, hot tomato, mustard, vinegar, and specialty. So it is fun. The judging lasts about 4 or 5 hours. And then you get to be named the best sauce on the planet. So yeah, I know Freddie because he always is part of it. So we know that bottle. I can name a group by their team name and their sauce.
That's right. That's right. So I get on and Emily's like, so what's your team name?
Tell me your team name. Yes.
Yeah. That's how we are. We're the complete opposite here at Atlanta BBQ Store. We see names and it's hard to always correlate the names with the teams because we just see the names when they place an order or whatever. So then but yeah, Donald Cook, Who Cares Barbecue, he said he needs another square trophy. I think he wins chicken every year. I mean, the guy is incredible.
I'm pretty sure we've called that name on the stage a time or two. He's had to do the walk all the way up.
Yeah, and Donald's a great cook. I see Bill Purvis on there saying he's going to be there, and Aaron was, all these names. It's the who's who of barbecue is coming to in this one area.
We're so lucky. I mean, that's what I say. Like, we're so lucky that everybody comes out and they have, we want everyone to have a good time. I would say at the end of the weekend, I want people to leave exhausted and happy. And even if they didn't have their best turn in, they still had a fantastic weekend.
Yeah.
And then next year, come back and take it all. Win it all.
That's my goal this time. Is that, the last time I went, I was just drowning with what am I doing here? Oh my God, this is crazy. So this time I feel like we can go. Maybe I'll try and even do a show from there or something. Have something really cool.
Let's do it. That'd be fun. Find me. I might be on a golf cart,
I'm sure you will.
Moving people around, but
yeah.
We'll
get together. Let's do it, and we'll have something cool going on now because it's such a. I'll say it one more time. If barbecue is your passion, you have got to go cook this contest. I mean, Sean Trigestad with Angry Jack Barbecue. He's another Georgia cook. We talk about it all the time. It's like, man, it's the coolest contest you'll ever go cook. Just because it's every name that you hear, right? Like your Aaron Leslie's and your Bill Purvis's and your Donald Cooks and Hank Vaden and all these guys that are on here, people that you don't ever get to see, they're there and you can go introduce them and talk to
It's so cool. We do some other things too. Let's just say that you maybe don't want to go through the whole contest this year, but want to learn a little bit more. We do this thing called Royal Tours where we give you kind of behind the scenes. And if teams want to have you into their space, they can, and you can come in and you can go talk to chief cooks and pit masters and say, okay, tell me what you're doing, or show me this smoker that you made on your own and the things that you're looking online and you never really get to ask. Like, you can go ask them. It's the coolest thing. And that's also what's so great about it. If you came down and you just started walking around, because I think that's actually the best part, you could just pop over and start talking to someone because everybody's there doing the same thing. Yeah. It's incredible the people you meet from the different places too. In 2019, I think we had 19 different countries represented.
Wow.
And they travel, now this year might look a little different. We hope that everyone is allowed to travel. If they aren't, talk to me and we'll make sure that you can come in 2022. So just know that if anyone's travel gets changed, we get it. It's a bummer, but we'll work with you. But it's so cool. We've got teams that come every single year from Japan, from Australia, from Germany. Like, they are there. They have their team spaces. I know these teams very well. And then also with the states. I mean, I think we had 39 states that came and cooked. And you have to think every state's got a little bit of different flair. So that's what's also so cool. So if you're wondering about, tell me a little bit more about Memphis barbecue. Well, we actually can when y'all come to Kansas City. That's what's so crazy. Yeah. It's just, it's great. I'm a little biased, but I think it's great.
Yeah. No, I mean, Parkstead Smokers, I think they were from Belgium or somewhere. Yeah. They were our neighbors. And it was just so cool to see these. I mean, like, they borrowed drums from Tim Shearer, and they just came in, flew in, and I was like, y'all are from what? Like, this is amazing. And this week this month, in a couple of weeks, we got Memphis in May coming up. Yes. I mean, this is another huge contest.
I'm so excited for Memphis. We're good friends with Memphis. We're so pumped that they're able to do it this year. Any contest that gets canceled is just a bummer for everyone. I mean, like, for our community, just anything that's happening, restaurants and contests and everything. So we're super pumped that they can do this. And people get back to it. Let's get back to getting everybody together safely.
Well, it's good for everybody, right? Like, if the Royal goes, I mean, that gives Jack a chance to happen. Like, I mean, everything goes all together,
of it. Right? Houston, come back in January or February. Yep.
So barbecue is awesome. I feel like we live in Georgia. Georgia and some other states have been able to have more contests.
Good.
So we've been blessed with that. But it'll be good for the Royal to happen because, like you said before, that brings everybody in together.
Yep.
And then maybe it'll just take off and get back. I know the store, Atlanta Barbecue Store, we've been busy. A lot more contests have been going, so it's helped with all the different contests. So.
And what has everybody been doing for the last year? I think everybody's been cooking at home, right? So this is the year. People are going to know what they're doing.
Exactly.
Just know too, like, I would say for anybody listening, if you are thinking about coming this year, I would say, I speak for Emily Detweiler, the team at KCBS, my entire board, and everybody at the American Royal. We want people to come out and have a good time, but safety is our number one priority. We're not going to host this if one person is not safe, myself included. So we are working day and night to make sure that we are prepared. We're working with local and state officials. Like, we hope to not leave a page unturned. I am just one of the many people working on this that gets to speak to that. So know that when we open registration this weekend and we announce the date, we're still figuring it out. More will come. If you're a registered team or a judge or just want to come down, it's going to morph. We'll learn as you learn. I mean, we all kind of learned to, I guess, pivot a little last year. So it's just going to be a little bit more fun.
Yeah. And if you ever want to come on, let me know. If you want to say, hey, we got some more information, love to have you on, and you can get it out that way. But
for sure.
Emily, thank you so much. And I hope we were able to cover everything that you needed to
Yeah.
cover tonight and get it out. The one last question I saw, Derek Johnson, he asked, sorry if I missed it if it wasn't already explained, but what is the difference in the open and the invitational? So if
Yeah.
you don't mind, real quick, I know if you have it.
No, please. This, you know what? I answer this all the time. I do want to be very clear. So, in the weekend, we have two contests: the open contest, which I will say is open for everybody, or the invitational that you must be invited. To be invited to the invitational, you have had to win a grand championship in our qualifying period. Now, I didn't really talk about this, but because of what happened last year, we extended our qualifying period to all teams that qualified in 2019, 2020, and 21. So if you qualified in 2019, you have an automatic invite. You're in.
That's me.
That's it. All you got to do for us is on your registration, tell us when you won and we'll cross check it. That's it. And then cook. I mean, then that's it.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday is the open competition. If you're an invitational team, we do ask that you cook in the open. It's the biggest contest in the world, so everybody's cooking, but it's open. We do the 4 main KCBS proteins. We'll add sausage. That's kind of an American Royal one we do. We've partnered with National Turkey Federation, so we'll do turkey. And maybe some more too. There might be more that come up. But if you want to be part of the open, anybody can join. You do not have to win a contest. You don't have to ever go to a contest. You can just show up and cook and just turn in 1 meat is all we ask. Now read the rules. I think that'll help you. But
Right.
but it's as simple as that, really.
Yeah. I mean, it is a blast.
We added some stuff too, and there's a lot of verbiage on our website. There's a lot of information, so we never want to bog anyone down. But if you are a first-time team, there's some quick information on it's a first-time team pamphlet, what to know before you arrive, just little things like, oh, don't forget you're camping. You're basically camping for a week, so don't forget food for yourself. Talking about electrical, talking about water, talking about the things that you kind of need to know outside of just the contest. Our cook's schedule is posted online. Schedule of events, all of that stuff is posted. It will keep changing, but everything is out there. And then I will say this to anyone listening that our phone lines and our email are always open. You can call and you will talk to myself, my colleague Eric, my colleague Kim. There's so many people there that have been doing this for years. And we want to educate everyone before they get there so that they're very ready to go. So we're there. Talk to us anytime. I'd be happy to guide anyone along their journey so that they have a fantastic time.
Right. And the best way to get in touch with you would be to email you, call you.
The easiest way is our email is bbq@americanroyal.com. If you email that, it's going to a couple people on our barbecue team. One of us will get back to you. And if you say, hey, I have more questions, give me a call. Tell me the number. We'll give you a call. Might give us a day or two. You know, this has been a busy week. But hey, the teams are rolling in. We're talking to teams every day. And know too that if you decide you want to be a team and you need to edit some stuff, that's fine. Things change. Yeah. We know that. So
I'll tell you what, I mean, just asking Emily to come on the show tonight, she has been incredibly easy to get in touch with. Just very resourceful, knows everything what's going on about it. And
let's hope.
I called her. Yeah, and I called and she answered, right? So I mean, it's like if there's anything you need, reach out to them because they want us there. Without the cooks and the judges and everything else, we don't have much going on. So
that's right. Like I said, my job, I do not cook. I do not judge. I bring the people together. So that is what I am here for you every day. So anything I can help with, that's what I want to be there for.
Well, good. Well, Emily, I thank you so much for coming on tonight and talking about the American Royal. I know you love it. It's your passion. It's what you do, right? So thank you so much for what you do for barbecue, and thank you for the incredible contest on. I'm sure I'll be in touch with you beforehand.
Oh, yeah.
But it's going to be a great time. Looking forward to September.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And everybody, thank you for being part of this conversation with us and asking questions. It's great. We're just excited that it's going again.
Yep. That's awesome. So look forward to seeing everybody in at the American Royal. Sign up. You do not have to have won $1,000. You can sign up for the Open. Make sure you do that, guys. But anyway, thanks again. Hope you all have a wonderful week, and we will see you next week on Chewin' the BBQ Fat. Have a good night, everybody. Emily, you can hold on for 1 second.